Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are talking blood test results. It's the first results that I've had back since I've been on Carnivore. We're going to compare them to before Carnivore and see where we're at. See if I'm at death's door, as a lot of people have told me I am. Hi, if we're just meeting, my name's Claire, Carnivoreclaire. On this channel I talk all things carnivore, weight loss, health related. So if that interests you, do hit that subscribe button and stay to the end and leave a comment down below, because that's going to help the channel grow and I think you're going to get a ton of value out of it. So in case you don't know, I've been doing Carnivore for about 4.5 months now. I started at the beginning of February. I have lost 49 pounds as we speak, probably 50 pounds by tomorrow. I feel absolutely fantastic. My energy levels are much higher. My quality of life is so much better because I have chronic fatigue syndrome, and this diet has just helped me immensely. Came up because I was having some lightheadedness, shall we say. If I'd been laying down for quite a while, when I get up I'll be lightheaded for a second or two and then it would go away, and this would always happen on my fast while I'm obviously carb free. So I thought I should get some blood tests done. I haven't had any done for about a year, so doctors agreed and I've got the results. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm on my phone and I've got all the information here. About a year ago my B12 was at 330, it's now 387, so that has improved significantly on the carnivore diet. My folate level was 7.6, it's now 3.9, so that has dropped significantly. Now I have seen others on the carnivore say that their folate levels have dropped as well, so that is something to keep an eye on. I'm going to maybe add in some liver, because you can get folate from liver, but it's also found in meat, dairy, eggs, etc. The next one is ferritin levels. So my ferritin levels are 101. They were 48 a year ago, so they have massively increased. They are completely within range. It can be up to 200. Nothing to write home about there. Let's go on to A1C levels, which is to test for diabetes. Now we do have diabetes in my family. My dad is type 2 diabetic. So this is something that was concerning me before I lost weight. Last year was 36. It should be between 20 and 42. So it wasn't too bad. It was fine. This year it's 30. So it's come down by 6. If you have had your blood test done since you've been on Carnivore, let me know what your results were down in the comments below. I'd love to know. So let's go on to vitamin D. Now vitamin D is something that I've had trouble with over the years because I've got chronic fatigue syndrome, I'm guessing. I can't hold vitamin D very well. If I don't take tablets at all, my vitamin D drops significantly. A few years ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I was in a really bad way and I didn't know why. If I moved like left or right, I was going dizzy and I was feeling sick. I felt like I was at death's door, honestly. Got some blood test results and it come back that my vitamin D was at, I think it was at 20. And it should be over 70, between 50 and 70. It did drop again when I stopped taking tablets. So now I just take vitamin D tablets continuously, and that has helped. Although when I started the carnivore diet, everyone was saying you shouldn't need supplements, so I just stopped all my supplements and it did drop a little bit, I'm sure of it. I've been taking the supplement again for about a month now. With that little mini essay out of the way, let's have a look. So a year ago, my vitamin D levels were 62.4. So not too bad. They should be between 50 and 150. So over 70 is optimal. Today, they are 57.5. Well, not today, when I had the blood test done. Still way within range, but they are lower than they were last year, and I think that is because I stopped supplements. Everyone recommends that you have vitamin D3, I think it is vitamin D3, with K2. I don't take K2. It's not that I'm against it or anything, I just haven't taken it. I got a deal on some vitamin D, I take that, and it does bring my levels up. So I don't really have any need for K2, but perhaps when I replenish my supplements, I will get it with K2. Let's move on, shall we? But before we do, I want to ask you to hit that subscribe button down below. I want you to come back and see my videos. I will be doing a 160-day update very soon. So, bone profile. Let's look at the calcium levels. So last year my calcium levels were 2.15 and they should be 2.2. So they were slightly under range. By the way, all these levels are MMOLL. If you're in the US, I believe you have different measurements, so don't compare my measurements to yours if that's the case. Calcium levels 2.15 last year, this year 2.23. So they've come up and they are in range, and that is probably the amount of cheese I've been eating. I have been eating so much cheese. Now, I stopped eating cheese 3 days ago because it's interfering with my weight loss. When I don't eat cheese, I don't get bloated, I don't get constipated, and my weight comes down a lot quicker than otherwise. Total protein levels last year was 71 and that was in range. And this year they are 68. So they've reduced, despite eating protein a lot. They have reduced, but they're still within range. So that's absolutely fantastic. Let's go to my full blood count now. In the last few years, I have had some issues with my full blood count. About 2 years ago, I felt so poorly. I was flushing really, really bad. I even had the doctors test me for cancer because it was flushing so bad. It was so insistent, and it was like doctors were saying it was menopause. I knew it was not menopause. It absolutely was not. What it was mast cell activation disorder. But what happened was my white blood cells were all out of whack, and that's why I was feeling poorly. Once I went on an anti-inflammatory diet, they did come down and the flushing stopped, and all's well. I feel amazing right now. So my white blood count last year was 8.2, which was in range. So this wasn't when I was poorly. It's 9.5 now. So it's increased. It's still within range. It can be up to 11. So happy with that. There's lots of different things within the full blood count, so you can look on screen, pause the video if you want to have a look at it. Red blood count was 4.7 last year. That's within range, and this year 4.79. My red blood count has slightly increased. Don't know if that's good or not, but it's still in range, so I'm happy with that. So last year, every year in fact, I've always had my CRP tested, which is inflammation based. They didn't do that this year. I wasn't happy about it, but it is what it is. They just didn't do it, so I don't have that result. But I feel in myself that it has come down. We won't know until I have my next set of blood tests done. So the next one is urea and electrolytes. Last year, my urea was 4.3, completely within range. And it's now 5.4, so that has increased. My sodium levels were 138, which was in range, and they are now 140, so they've come up a little bit. Now, I am eating a lot of salt, far more than they recommend, and it's done hardly anything to my sodium levels. So that is very interesting. And it's done nothing to my blood pressure either. My blood pressure was 120/88. So there you go. Potassium levels were 3.9, they're now 3.8. So the next result was my TSH. So that is my thyroid. And that was last year 4.15. It's now 3.33. So it has come down a little bit, but still within range. Now, we get on to cholesterol. This is the one thing that carnivores worry about, isn't it? Half of us seem to get sky high cholesterol. The other half of us, it lowers. So I was really interested to see. Now, when I first started doing this, I had some issues with constipation. So I massively increased my saturated fat. I was having butter with absolutely everything. But what happened was I got really bloated and I started putting on weight. So I stopped that. I now have a little sliver, maybe 25 grams of butter a day when I cook my fried eggs. Otherwise, I just don't have any fat. I like to eat, I will buy fatty cuts of meat and I will eat all the meat on the fat. Eat all the meat on the fat, eat all the fat on the meat. I was a little bit concerned about this, but we all know, don't we, that the cholesterol myth. So I wouldn't be overly worried even if it was high. For the last 16 years, I have been eating coconut oil. Now they say it's a saturated fat and it's going to give you a heart attack and all the rest. Can't tell you how many times people have told me that. Whenever I've told like a dietitian or a GP, they just look at me in horror because I say I use coconut oil in abundance. Well, I have had my cholesterol checked year after year after year after year, and it has never raised my cholesterol one iota. What did raise my cholesterol before carnivore was when I started having butter. And it did increase a little bit, but not much. Last year, my serum cholesterol level was 3.95 and it should be under 5. Don't forget, this is when I was really obese. I was probably about 280 pounds. And now my serum cholesterol level is 4.74. So it has increased really a bit, but it's still in range. It should be under 5. My LDL cholesterol last year was 1.90, which was really good. It should be under 3, so I was very happy with that. My LDL cholesterol, now I'm on the evil carnivore diet, is 2.93. So that has raised my LDL, my bad cholesterol. But again, it's still in range. It should be under 3. Triglycerides. Now, triglycerides are the one that if they increase, you can have some issues there. And I don't think anyone's going to dispute that. Well, maybe some of you will. Last year, my triglycerides were 1.61 and they were in range, but only just. They can go up to 1.7. This year, they are 1.34. So they have come down on the carnivore diet. The triglycerides are the ones that are bad for you, which they don't tell us. They tell us LDL is bad for you. But triglycerides, we'll talk about that in a minute, 1.34, down from 1.61. Party time. My triglycerides should be between 0.6 and 1.7. They're 1.34. Very, very happy with that. So let's get on to the good cholesterol. The HDL last year was 1.31. It should be over 1.3, so it was only just in range. My HDL now is 1.20, so that has come down, but I'm not worried because we're going to do a ratio in a minute. And then we've got the serum cholesterol / HDL ratio. I don't really know how they work that out or what that's for. Last year it was 3.02. It should be under 3, so it's 0.2 over. That was a year ago before the carnivore. It is now 3.95, so that's gone up over range. But I am not worried. Not far out of range. I've seen people with massively high cholesterol levels on carnivore diet and there's no issue. So the serum non-density lipoprotein cholesterol level was 2.6 last year. It's now 3.5, but it should be under 4. So anyone who's done any research on the carnivore diet will know that we don't need to worry about HDL or LDL on their own. That's not an issue. That's not even in my mind. What can be an issue is if the triglyceride to HDL ratio is off. You want that ratio as close to 1 as you can get. 1 to 1.5 is fine as far as that's the information I've been given from Ken Berry and others. Put it in a calculator and it's come up at 1.11, my personal ratio. So that's pretty good, I would say. Really, really good. So I have no concerns whatsoever about my cholesterol. We're 4 months in, I've lost 50 pounds. So don't forget, these comparisons are comparing when I was 50 pounds heavier to when I was 50 pounds lighter as well. So I think that's really important to bear in mind. I'm also doing a lot more exercise now than I was then. I was pretty much bedbound then. So I hope you found that video interesting. Do leave me a comment. Promise me you'll leave me a comment. Because I love them. I love to read your comments and they do help the channel. If you like this video and you would like to see more, do hit subscribe. Check out this video over here because that's my 120-day update. And look out for my 160-day update. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye for now.